see out of Tommy?
Vito?
Yeah, and what what?
Yeah, I think he's made steady improvement since he's been here. It's a lot to learn, at that position as a rookie. I thought he, all the things that you have to do to play quarterback before you even have to play the position. Getting the play call, communicating, knowing who's in the huddle you're playing with, knowing what they're doing on the other side. All the stuff pre-snap I thought he did a good job with, and then he made some good decisions, made some nice throws. Did a pretty good job for his first time out.
Is there an element to him even?
And then he got to throw a pass to another Don Bosco guy. So,
well, that's true.
Yeah.
Too. Is there any element to him to where, with a guy that has so little experience and is obviously down on the depth chart, he seems to have a vibe to him that he feels like he belongs?
Yeah, it's probably a good
confidence level.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's come out here. He's gotten better. I think the room that he's in with DJ and Ty is helpful. Two good vets that do it the right way. So I think he's made progress since he's been here.
Right, with your time dealing with a lot of different quarterbacks, can you teach instinct, or is that just something, improvisation, instinct, things like that?
Yeah, I'd say instinct overall, regardless of the position, is really a tough thing to teach. Some guys just have it, just whether it's a quarterback, a defensive back, a receiver, well, why'd you do this here? And they felt, I just felt it, and I think instinct is hard to evaluate. You're always looking at different things on tape and seeing, do you think this guy's really instinctive? But until you get somebody in your program, you see him on a day-to-day basis, it's a tough thing to evaluate. It's a really good thing to have.
Where is Daniel on the improvisational instinct scale?
Yeah, he's good. He sees a lot of things. He's athletic, so that helps too, and makes good decisions. He's done a good job.
Better now than last year?
I don't know. I think we've made progress in really everything so far in training camp, but always more work to be done.
How many quarters do you intend to play the starters?
Yeah, we'll talk about that after.
Right after having the game.
You intend to?
We'll talk about it after.
Well, we're not going to talk
practice.
about it after with you, though.
I know, but we are as a coach. It's just the same thing as during the regular season. That's what we'll do. We'll go through practice, meet with the medical staff, meet with the coaches, and then make our decision.
Brian, after having one game under your belt, especially offensive lineman, where you gauge your offensive line and cohesiveness at this point now?
Yeah, I think, again, just like all the positions, I think they made progress. We've shuffled guys in, but that's, like I said, what we do always. Every training camp, you gotta put guys in different spots and see where they're at. They've made strides, and we'll see. We'll just keep on grinding away.
How important is it for Shep to get into a game, you think, ahead of the season?
Yeah, I think it'd be good to get him out there, get some live action. It's always different when you can get hit. So again, he's another guy we'll talk about here after practice. He's actually going to get a down day today, so. Just kind of see how he's feeling, where he's at relative to his rehab plan, and make a decision.
Is that a situation where does he lobby? Does he want in?
He always lobbies. Yeah, he lobbies every practice. But we gotta do a good job of taking care of him. He's come back from a couple of injuries. He's got a great mindset. He's a competitor. So, training staff has done a good job with his his rehab deal.
Does Neil practice today, by the way?
Yes.
It full? He's out of the protocol?
No, he's trending in the right direction. I'll say that, but he's practicing. So.
You and Joe always talk about alignment, and but when it's the scouting process, it seems like your assistant coaches, you really rely on your assistant coaches to be involved. You've gotten guys like Hawkins and Riley already as rookies, late round rookies, to contribute. How big of a part is that for you? Do you think that?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Yeah, no, there's, I think we work hand in hand. Joe, his staff, all the scouts, and then, myself and all the coaches, we really are, we really work well together. We don't always agree on everything, but I'd say there's very productive conversations during that time, during the March and the April before the draft. We send a lot of coaches out to do workouts. We bring some guys in on visits. We brought Trey on a visit, just specifically talking with Rome. But they put a lot of work in. So really our focus after the season, we kind of evaluate our team to see where we're at. That's the most important thing for us. But then once we get on to whether it's free agency or whether it's the college process, I'd say that, there's a lot of interaction between Joe, his staff, college scouting directors, scouts, and then all of our position coaches that, again, Joe, we send them all out. So their input is always valued. And there's a lot of really good conversations that happen from them with the scouts. The scouts might have, a few things that the coaches didn't know. The coaches might see some things, and then really good give and take. But that's the process that we go through that we think works for us.
And there was
Two more.
There was a point in practice yesterday where Saquon carried the ball, got knocked over, got up and went after whoever knocked him over. I mean, I know you don't like the extracurricular stuff, but do you kind of I like seeing that?
Yeah, I mean, it's practice. It's competing out there. It was a good day. It was a good day to practice yesterday, And as you get later on in practice, you got full pads. You get stuff like that.
Wink mentioned that he said in front of the whole defense to challenge Kayvon to up his level of play in practice, and Kayvon responded to that. What did you make of how Kayvon responded with how he performed, and that he didn't?
Yeah, I just say in general, we try to do that with every player. Coach our players, tell them things that they're doing well, correct them on things they're not, and that's what we do on a day-to-day basis. It's not specific to one guy. I'd say that's all of our jobs to do.
How much is the thing with him, though, that you want to see it consistently? That you want to see it on an everyday basis?
What's that?
With Kayvon.
I want to see everything consistent with everybody, coaches, players, but that's why we're out here practicing.
You mentioned about playing in the preseason or playing against your other team. Do you expect to? Daboll said you're going to like to get you guys in some point. Do you have a preference, whether it be this week, next week? Does it make any difference to you at this point?
I'm always preparing to play. That's obviously Dabe's call, and I think we're all preparing to play, and he'll make a decision on that. Like you said, it's he's told us we're going to play in the preseason, so to prepare and get ready to do that.
Daboll told a story yesterday about you wanting to get into the Lions facility on the day off to get some work in with receivers and everything. I think he stopped short of saying how that worked out. Did you get to go out there, and why was that something you were so interested in doing?
This was before the game, so we didn't actually get in, be able to get over there, but we worked out on the field pregame. We're just trying to make sure we had an opportunity to get what we need to get done.
Daniel, what have you seen from Saquon in this camp?
I think he's done a great job. He's been impressive in all the ways he usually is on the field, and with his ability, and he's been impressive just with his demeanor, his leadership, his attitude. I think he's been big in the pass game for us in space, and running routes, getting open, making explosive plays that way too. So he's had a great camp.
Did you make a concerted effort to work on off-platform throws and different arm angles this offseason?
I think that's part of my training. Part of my training and stuff I focus on every offseason. I think maybe a couple more opportunities to do it, and a couple newer drills I've tried to incorporate. But I'd say that's probably part of my training every offseason.
You spent last season with John Feliciano, and now you've got John Michael and Ben both snapping. Is a snap, or do you have to adjust to them, or they have to adjust to you, or what?
I think there's a little bit of adjustment initially, early on, and then kind of once you're into it and you build a chemistry and a rapport with someone, you're used to it, and it's not really something you think about. So I think we're at the point now in camp where we've built that. We've had plenty of reps together, and I feel very comfortable with both those guys.
How was his? He talked about last week, improving his communication and focused on being loud in one practice. How did you see that, kind of from the sidelines in the game?
I think he did a good job. Yeah, I think he did a good job, and that's a big responsibility of a center to make a lot of those calls and get everybody on the same page and communicate and as a young guy learning the system and then having to communicate all that, it can be tough sometimes, but I think he's done a really good job with it.
You mentioned rapport. You
had now an extended stretch to work with Darren Waller. He's obviously going to be a big part of the offense. So how strong is your rapport with him now? Where are you guys on?
Good. It's been it's been good working with him. Feel like we're in a good spot, and I think there's still some things we need to iron out and work on, and we'll continue to do that. But yeah, he's done a really good job. He's a big target, so that's always a little bit easier when you got a guy like that who can create as much separation as he can and run like he can.
How important is it to you to have different types of receivers that kind of help complement Darren's skill set?
Yeah, I think that's important. I think we got a variety of guys who do different things, and I think Daves and Calf and our whole offensive staff do a really good job kind of building what we're doing to our guys' skill set and what they're good at. We did that last year, and we've done that this year as well so far. So, I think that's important.
What did you say to DeVito after the game, and how do you think he did?
I thought he did well. I think anytime your first game out there and in live action and operating, trying to get everyone on the same page and executing on offense can be tough. But I thought he did a really good job kind of handling it all. He was composed and made a lot of good decisions, a lot of good plays. So he's been practicing well, playing really well in practice too. So I thought it was impressive.
Are you interested at all to see how the slot thing shakes out? You got three veteran guys there, Shep, Crowder, and Beasley, who all have had success in this league. Are you interested at all to see how that ends up?
Yeah, I think all those guys have done a really good job, and made plays and shown up in a lot of spots. They're all extremely talented players, or smart players, instinctive guys. Guys you like having in that kind of spot to uncover, to field zone, and kind of see the defense as the quarterback sees it. So they've done a great job, and we've got a lot of good players in that group.
Jalen.
Yeah, Jalen did some nice things. He didn't have a bunch of targets, but he was in the right spot and where we wanted him to be. So he just, again, those young guys are just growing and continuing to get better, and we'll get them intermixed as we keep on going through the preseason.
What do you look for, like veteran guys like Crowder and Beasley in a camp like this? They've done it, but what are you looking for from them?
Yeah, I mean it's a competitive deal. So all those guys are in the mix, right? And so you try to put them in the best spot so that they can show what they're about and give them an opportunity to make some plays. And I think as a player, being a former player, that's all you really want, is just an opportunity. And so that's with the preseason, the training camp, kind of the whole scope of body of your work. That's really what goes on to the evaluation process. And then you get into the preseason games, and you get an opportunity to do it in front of our fans and in front of the whole organization.
Dory, what do you see in both of the young corners? Like individually, maybe.
Trey, start with him. I just like his tenacity, how calm he is, how willing and eager he is to learn. He asks a lot of questions, very respectable, and works hard. And you can see a guy that I would say probably didn't get drafted as high as probably he wanted to, or as he's playing as he should have, but goes out there and does his job and keeps doing it at a high level. And then with Banks, just a respectable as well. Both of them are genuine guys. I think just the talent, the athleticism that he has is crazy. To be able to see and watch him play. He has a lot of great tangibles, and I feel like both of them with their tangibles has the ability to do something great, but it's just up to them, how they want to do it. So we're just taking it a day at a time, and I'm just happy to see them progress and get better each day, coming in wanting to learn, asking questions, and being respectable in a sense where they, obviously you can come in and think you know it all because you make a bunch of plays, but still trying to learn, still trying to get better. So I appreciate, that a lot about both of them.
How are they pushing you to be better?
Because they got some tangibles that I don't have. Obviously, they're taller, longer, frame corners, great in press. And I really look at them, to obviously I think it just levels my play, in a sense. I see them do great things like, okay, I want to compete with them as well. It's more of you see them do something, it's like, okay, I just want to go show that I can do it too, or I'm still doing it. And I think they appreciate that a lot. It's not like me coming in and just loafing, just trying to set the standard and show them that it's not just one day. It's like every day you got to come in, keep working. So I think that's how they push me to show that at the end of the day, I am the oldest corner in the room, and to be able to show them different things and show them how to do it, how to be a pro, and then to be able to keep doing it for as long as I have, which is going on year 7, to keep playing at this level.
Obviously, just 2 rookies on the outside playing Hawkins and Banks. Can you talk about them too? What you seeing?
Yeah, they played great, man. I thought for their first game, I thought they played really well. They played composed, and they compete. They went out there and was competitive. So we didn't expect anything less. Obviously, we saw them put in the work, throughout the weeks to build up to that game, and we've been helping them along the way. Obviously, they're gonna have their growing pains, and they're still having their growing pains. But they're competing, man, and they're competitive guys. So we know, every game day they're gonna come with their best stuff. So.
What one of the other slot things we've seen on the other side of the ball is Saquon kind of going in this, like not just being a check down receiver, but more of a targeted receiver.
Yeah.
How tough a cover could he be for a defense? You've covered running backs. How tough a cover could he be if he's a design target versus like everybody's covered, I'm just going to throw a screen?
Hey, that guy's one of one. It don't get no better than him. So wherever he's at on the field, whether it's lined up in the backfield, lined up in the slot, lined up outside, really, it's you got to match up. So you got to be alert. He's a guy that's going to give people a lot of problems no matter where he's at. So, but that's what happens when you got a guy that good, a guy that talented. So, that's another, just another piece that we have.
Have you seen a difference in Daniel Jones this year on the play, like in terms of his play, and if so, what way?
For sure. Just being a lot smarter and just knowing just different things. Obviously, with the more gaming experience that you have, you start to see a lot of different things. You see more coverages. You see things that the defense is trying to mess with your head and trying to do this, but he's been picking up on that super well, throughout this offseason. And he's poised, man. He's confident, and you can see it when he plays. You can see it in the locker room. You can see it really everywhere. So, he's been great for us. He's been making us better in the back end, and he's definitely made our offense better as a whole. So, it's good to see him just continue to grow. But knowing how he works, we see it every day. He's one of those guys he's like a workhorse. He's always working out. He's always in the film room. So it's not surprising.
It seems like Pinnock is claiming that spot next to you. Like, what have you seen from him? How do you think you guys complement each other?
Man, I think we complement great. We could both play both jobs. We could both, play the right and the left safety. It don't really matter. It's gonna be special. I think as we continue to grow, obviously we still got, we still got to get through some things, just kind of figuring out some things. But I think so far it's been really good, just to play alongside of them. And as we practice more together, as we play games, we'll start to kind of understand each other more and know what the other one likes to do, what we don't like to do, stuff like that. So as we go, we'll figure it out and we'll be good.
What changed from year 1 to year 2 schematically for you guys up front?
I'm not sure too much has changed right now, but overall as a player, I just feel more comfortable in the system just because I've had a year of it under my belt. I'm not so much focused on learning the plays. I'm more focused on how to execute the plays now. There's a little bit of a difference in, trying to figure out where I need to be, and now I'm figuring out what's the best way I can get to that spot. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different. I'm more focused on technique and stuff like that more than learning the playbook.
Wink shared yesterday that he pretty much asked Kayvon for more in front of the defense during the keep it real period. As a guy who's been a premier player in the league on defense, if a coach does call you directly to step up, is that something that sometimes is called for, like that you actually welcome as a player for a coach to do?
I would say so. As a player, I've never wanted a coach to be a yes man. that's the coach's job, is to push us and get the best potential out of us as they can. And sometimes it takes that little extra push and fire under us to get us going. And honestly, in my, going on 9 years of playing, I've never had a coach keep it real like that before. And I think the guys respect it, honestly. There's sometimes in camp, guys are trying to make a team and stuff like that, and they don't really know how the coaches see them or where they fit on the roster and stuff like that. And in those keep it real meetings, he goes down every single player. It's not just Kayvon or not just me or not just anybody. It's he addresses every single individual and lets you know exactly how he feels, and I think the guys respect it.
I mean, no, it wasn't anything negative. It wasn't like, it wasn't necessarily in a sense like, but I mean, it's understanding that people see, for a coach talking to, for example, a great player and a coach talking to a player that he sees potential in, it's going to be different, right? So him wanting to let me know that he feels I can be a Pro Bowler this year. He feels I can, kind of take the league by storm, and me knowing that him saying it really doesn't mean much, right? It's about what I go do every day. And that's kind of the conversation that we had, that, I'm the only one that can get me to the places I want to be.
I feel like you're somebody that responds to that kind of interaction.
I mean, he's just preaching to the choir. I'm a guy who kind of preaches that stuff to myself, and I'm a guy who, tries to lead in that standpoint. So, yeah, I mean, we're talking the same language as always, and just continuing to get better. I think that's the point of camp. It's easy to, when you get to practice 15, 16, 17, and start to get complacent, it gets repetitive. So just continuing to stay fresh, continuing to, that grind.
Kayvon, how much do you want to be a better player than you were?
I mean, this league is, if you're not growing, you're losing. So if I don't become a better player, I'm going to be out in 3 years, and that's the truth to the NFL. So just understanding that, if I want to be here for a long time, it got to be a continuous growth. And T-Mac, he always talks about Kaizen, which is the act of continuous growth. So, just respecting the game and continue to grow here.
What's it been like for you to have Aziz back?
It's been amazing, man. We try not to run into each other at the quarterback because, we always like to meet there. But, it's building that chemistry, right? We know we got two good rushers, but now it's learning how to rush together.
Do you welcome the opportunity to get some preseason game action in, or?
I mean, this is football. Like, even last week, it was like, dude, we warmed up, but it was like, yo, you're not playing. Like, what you mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to go out there in shoes. But, no, I mean, I'm excited to play. I'm excited to unleash what we've been working on, what I've been working on, and continuing to use this game as a platform to grow.